Welcome back, sewists. Today, we're turning this empty basement nook into a practical sewing space from scratch. This transformation is not just about creating a functional area, but it's also about making a creative place that even my kids will drop their screens for and are excited to use. So first things first, let's talk about what it took to bring the space to life. Number one, and not pictured here, is lighting. We have fluorescent lights on the ceiling, but my husband went and bought some new bulbs for them that gave a ton more light to this small space. This really helped the space feel even more inviting. Then I gave it a quick once over to remove cobwebs and the dust, and for the essentials, my mom gave me this old sewing table and one of her old machines that she's not using anymore. So that really was the impetus for this whole project. So thanks, Mom. If one of your family members has an old machine lying around, this is your sign to take it and use that this video as inspiration for what your sewing space could become with just a little bit of organization. Later, I'm gonna add in some semi-comfortable folding chair seating and just a few extras that I've had lying around my house to keep things organized. I typically sew at our sewing studio, which is in a different location. So I just grabbed some extras. There's some old things that we had lying around there. For example, a table lamp, ironing board, cutting mat, just extras that we had. And as far as things that I bought myself to add in, the only thing I purchased was a pegboard. So you see this pegboard here? It's all that I purchased to get this little space going. And it really made a huge difference for organization and keeping things really inviting looking and tidy. Organization is key to a functional sewing space, and I installed this pegboard to keep my most used tools within reach, and it was the only thing I bought. Like I said, it was about $40 on Amazon and included these little buckets and 4 separate pegboards that I could distribute over the space. This was really easy to install and really fun to fill up. Actually, I probably could have spent 4 hours playing around with the arrangement of the little pieces. I needed 1 pegboard set over the machine area, and then another set I put over the ironing board area so that the tools that were related to those separate parts of my little nook here were very handy. But let's be clear, this place is tiny, so nearly everything is completely handy no matter where I am sitting or standing. I also added a 3-drawer organizer under an extra table just to give even more organization. It was something that we just had extra lying around. I'll put in there some extra fabric, some works in progress, and patterns. And then I'm gonna keep all my tools on the pegboard so that the tools don't just become like a jumbled mess hidden in those drawers. As for that extra table, it had been used previously for painting and crafts and stuff, and I think I bought it when we were having to Zoom in for school during COVID. So I'm really glad that I can use this extra thing lying around the house again. Again, keeping everything organized, it really not only makes the sewing more enjoyable to me, but it helps me find what I need quickly, and it becomes a place that I actually want to go to instead of just a pile of things. I think I'm gonna do more sewing here if I can just jump in without having to search for things. So now let's discuss the actual sewing tools that I grabbed that are really a necessity for a home space like this. My must-haves include obviously a reliable sewing machine. This is I think it's a Brilliant, Baby Lock Brilliant sewing machine, and it is my favorite machine. So obviously I need a machine, some sharp fabric scissors, some snips, rotary cutter, a mat, and a variety of needles and threads, and just a little iron. And that's really all I need. But of course I'm gonna add in a bunch of extras like some rulers, interfacing, ribbons, my embroidery thread stuff, and those hoops for those kind of projects, some other odds and ends I have. And I want this to be a space that I can just kind of put all of the general fabric and textile art stuff that we have in our house. Oh, and another essential that I added was a garbage can. And I know there's gonna be lots of use for that because with sewing, there's always a lot of little odds and ends that end up lying around. And so here it is. This is the big reveal. This is my new sewing nook, a cozy and efficient space where I can maybe tackle some of those quilting projects that I've been given, and where I can just do little jobs and projects at home. With everything in place, I'm ready to tackle all sorts of little things. So what do I plan exactly to do in this space? Well, why should I make this space when I've got a dedicated sewing space at work that has everything I could possibly need? Well, with this little space in my home, I can handle like fun things I've been thinking about and all sorts of different types of projects. This space is going to be really versatile for me. I can do little home sewing tasks like hemming pants or making alterations for my kids' clothes or mine, or doing repairs on clothes, or sew some like home deck stuff like pillows or curtains. And I can even maybe get over to quilting while I feel less time constricted at work, and I can slow down and play a little bit more. So a wonderful bonus for making this little nook that I was not anticipating is that my kid immediately came over after she saw this little space, and she wanted to hang out and she wanted to use this space with me. And she loves me sewing for her, but now that she can see it in action, she wants to start sewing for herself and keep learning. So I'm excited because this is summer break and we're going to be able to spend some quality time away from screens possibly, and maybe work on some fun projects together. We made a scrunchie today, and she's going to get to learn a new valuable skill, and we'll just get to hang out with each other. So I'm really looking forward to sharing some time in this space with her. So why should you create a sewing nook at home? I think a nook is nice because if you're going to be having to keep bringing out your sewing stuff all the time, in and out, it gets very inefficient. And I think having just a dedicated space, just like a little tiny nook, is a lot more inviting and efficient. It'll actually make it so that your time can be spent doing something productive. Not everybody has a little nook like this just lying around in their homes. I understand that. But if you can find a space for one, I highly suggest using it for a little sewing nook. This little nook is going to help me keep all my tools organized and ready to use. It's going to make it easier to start and finish projects. And plus, it's just going to be a little quiet retreat for creativity away from the distractions of everyday life, hopefully. So I highly suggest that you could create a practical sewing space. Even if it's from scratch inside your home, it's a rewarding project that pays off in so many ways. Whether you're an experienced sewist or just starting out, having a dedicated area can make all the difference. So I hope that you give it a try. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and keep up with all of the sewing patterns that Love Notions is going to be coming out with. And as you are sewing at home, we hope that you bring Love Notions along with you. And now that you've got that cute little sewing space ready to go, you're probably going to want some sewing patterns to sew in it. And might I suggest always checking in with lovenotions.com on Fridays for our $5 feature pattern. Every single Friday, we have a one-day sale for a new pattern in our collection. Last week's was Glissando, which is this gorgeous button front skirt, crops, and shorts pattern. And we always take the pattern, put it on sale, and then give it a little bit of sewing resources to go along with it. So Anik did this amazing front slick, little tiny easy hack that she shows you how to do on the Love Notions blog, and you can still reference that anytime. So check in this coming Friday for our upcoming Feature Friday sale. I think it's a pattern that everybody will be able to use and love it, no matter what your sewing space is. And I hope you take some time to think through how to make your sewing space a little bit more inviting and use what you have at home to create a space that's perfect for you. Bye.